Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Siboga TV, which is your number one online political channel. Fred Okengo Matiang'i is actually making moves that are going to destroy the political career of Rigathi Gachagua. And for Rigathi Gachagua to remain safe, he is going to be forced so that he can run for presidency late come 2027 presidential election, because the moves that Rigathi Gachagua is actually receiving from Fred Okengo Matiang'i are actually intending to weaken DCP as a political party in the entire Mount Kenya and Kenya in general. Because Fred Okengo Matiang'i is moving silently in Mount Kenya, and the strategies that he is using, they are going to leave Rigathi Gachagua with no otherwise that he must run for presidency late come 2027 presidential election. And that is actually what I want to break to you, so that you can understand about those moves that Fred Okengo Matiang'i is actually making and how they are going to make Rigathi Gachagua DCP to have no control of Mount Kenya. But before we do that, I could request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it's good to request them for us to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And whenever you subscribe to our YouTube channel, always make sure to smash the bell button, because by doing that, you will give YouTube permission so that you can get notified to watch any political content that we upload into YouTube. And for those ones who have actually subscribed to our YouTube channel, I say thank you. May God bless you all abundantly, because you always give us the inspiration to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. Now, let us dive into the discussion of the day. How Fred Okengo Matiang'i strategies are actually going to weaken Rigathi Gachagua in Mount Kenya and Kenya as a republic. And those strategies, as I have said, they are going to give Rigathi Gachagua no option but to run for presidency late come 2027 presidential election, so that he can salvage his career and his DCP as a political party. First, see the way Fred Okengo Matiang'i is actually consolidating all the small political parties within the mountain, because it is appearing that Fred Okengo Matiang'i is actually going to be given away so that he can use Jubilee as a political party. He is going to be the leader of Jubilee. And as you know, Jubilee has a homegrown of Mount Kenya, and it is actually the former ruling party, which actually made William Samoei Arap Ruto and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to snatch presidency for 2 consecutive terms. And because the person who is currently reading that political party is the former president of this republic, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And by Fred Okengo Matiang'i using that party to run for the presidency of this nation, it is going to have a bigger impact in Mount Kenya, because most people will feel free to fight using that political party. And the people of Mount Kenya actually identify themselves with that political party because they are familiar with it. They feel that the political party is their own. And because their son has been the leader of that political party, many people will vote for those who are going to use that political party. Let come 2027 elections. So by that one move of actually Fred Okengo Matiang'i using Jubilee as his political party of choice, is actually going to weaken Rigathi Gachagua DCP and his influence in Mount Kenya. Secondly, as I have said, that Rigathi Gachagua has also started consolidating around 10 smaller political parties within Mount Kenya. And those small political parties, actually they have shown interest to support Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And because the majority of those small parties are from Mount Kenya, they are actually going to help Fred Okengo Matiang'i to be more acceptable in the grassroots. And the influence of Fred Okengo Matiang'i is going to be felt more. And Rigathi Gachagua is going actually to be isolated in the entire Mount Kenya. And if Rigathi Gachagua will make a mistake of not running for presidency, then his party will be affected deeply, because most people who are going to use DCP as a political party, they are going to lose terribly, because the force behind Fred Okengo Matiang'i from Mount Kenya and his influence in the so-called the ground is going to be so much, such that people will be elected using those political parties affiliated to Jubilee and supporting Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And this move by Fred Okengo Matiang'i is quite dangerous for Rigathi Gachagua. And that is why I said that for Rigathi Gachagua to salvage his political career, if at all he wants to bring forth his political career, he wants to have a big influence in Mount Kenya and probably in the nation, then Rigathi Gachagua must actually run for presidency, let come 2027. And if you listen to those who are supporting Rigathi Gachagua, they actually have come out and they have said that Rigathi Gachagua must run for presidency, let come 2027 presidential election, because they know that if Rigathi Gachagua will support somebody else other than Fred Okengo Matiang'i, and Fred Okengo Matiang'i goes to the ballot, then their political influence is going to shatter down. Because without Rigathi Gachagua, Fred Okengo Matiang'i influence will be too much, and it will be passing like a wave in the entire Mount Kenya. So that move of Fred Okengo Matiang'i consolidating all the political parties, small political party within Mount Kenya, in his support and using Jubilee as a political party is actually a deadly move, which will shatter the influence of DCP and Rigathi Gachagua, who is actually being seen as the kingpin of Mount Kenya. Another move that Rigathi Gachagua is actually using to have more influence in Mount Kenya is that he is moving quietly and actually asking for support of the former members of parliament from Mount Kenya, the political leaders who are actually outside the cold, but who used to have the influence in the entire Mount Kenya. And that is why you have seen very many leaders from Mount Kenya are actually coming in support of Fred Okengo Matiang'i. So that move too is actually making Fred Okengo Matiang'i to have more influence in the entire Mount Kenya, and he is actually weakening Rigathi Gachagua terribly. And at the same time, because the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is actually supporting Rigathi Gachagua, that also is giving Rigathi Gachagua more support, more influence. Remember, it was Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta who warned the people of Mount Kenya against supporting President William Samoei Arap Ruto, and he told them that you are going to suffer massively if you support William Samoei Arap Ruto and become the president of this republic. And by that time, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was supporting Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And people from Mount Kenya never heard that call, but they have seen what's happening. And now you will find that many people from Mount Kenya are regretting why they supported William Samoei Arap Ruto. And now because Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is giving a new direction, we have people who are going to support Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in his new request so that they can support Fred Okengo Matiang'i. At the same time, Fred Okengo Matiang'i is employing a new strategy of actually influencing the ground. And that is why Fred Okengo Matiang'i is not actually being confrontational, is not confronting William Samoei Arap Ruto, is not confronting Rigathi Gachagua, but is moving directly to the people on the grassroots, and is telling them, please employ me so that I can work for you, so that I cannot give you excuses the way the current government is actually giving excuses, because it is me who will be in charge. It's me who will be doing what you want me to do. And I will make sure that I will not let you down. So that strategy that Fred Okengo Matiang'i is using to go to the ground within Mount Kenya is actually making him to be more stronger than Rigathi Gachagua. And he is not really moving to the Mount Kenya using Rigathi Gachagua, who many people see as the kingpin of Mount Kenya. And Rigathi Gachagua could have wanted that he is the one who should be taking Fred Okengo Matiang'i in the entire Mount Kenya. But Fred has seen that it's good for me to go to the ground alone, to use my supporters to rule them, to do a campaign for me, to rule them, so that we can ask the citizen from Mount Kenya as a region to support us. And that move of actually influencing the ground, that move of reaching the ground is actually breaking the influence of Rigathi Gachagua. And Fred Okengo Matiang'i is also employing this strategy of actually being seen as a national leader, actually being seen as a person who is bringing unity between our community. So Fred Okengo Matiang'i is actually having that dress of being seen as a national leader, unlike Rigathi Gachagua, because Rigathi Gachagua, many people feel that he is quite tribalistic, because every morning you will find Rigathi Gachagua in the the political arena. The first thing he will be saying, I am from Mount Kenya. I am championing the aspirations of Mount Kenya. But Fred Okengo Matiang'i is coming in and is saying that the problems that people of Gusiland, the problem that people from Western are facing are similar problems that people of Mount Kenya are actually facing. And therefore, to do Kenya good, we must come together so that we can solve those problems because they are similar. We should not actually divide the nation in terms of tribal blocks, because if we do that, then we cannot be able to achieve the mission that we want. So that move of Fred Okengo Matiang'i representing himself as a national leader is actually making him to have more influence in Mount Kenya and other parts of the Republic of Kenya. And because Fred Okengo Matiang'i is not confrontational, he is not actually making enemies in Mount Kenya. He actually is not even making those people who are within DCP to feel that this person is too their enemy. And because of that, Fred Okengo Matiang'i is actually going to take up Mount Kenya from Rigathi Gachagua. And those moves, because as I know, Rigathi Gachagua is seeing them, and he will have no choice that for him to salvage his political career, for him to salvage the influence of DCP in the entire Mount Kenya, he must stand firm and he must run for presidency. And because he will run for presidency, that is the only way he will counter the influence of Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And Rigathi Gachagua knows very well that he is not running for presidency to win, because he cannot win. He will run presidency to make DCP as a political party to be the main political party in the opposition side. That is actually what Rigathi Gachagua may want at the end. But because of those moves, because of that move that Rigathi Gachagua is likely to make, that is why the opposition is actually going to make William Samoei Arap Ruto to win late come 2027 presidential election. My fellow listeners, do you think that the moves that Fred Okengo Matiang'i is actually making, the strategies that he is using, are actually going to weaken Rigathi Gachagua in Mount Kenya and that those strategies are going to make Rigathi Gachagua to run for presidency. Let come 2027. Please drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this was your first time to bump into this YouTube channel, I request you kindly to take a minute and subscribe to this YouTube channel, because subscribing is quite free. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends, and request them for us to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And with that, I say thank you. May God bless you all abundantly until we meet in our next political discussion. Goodbye.